Hello everyone, I was watching YouTube recently, Matt's channel, Rocky's War Room it's known as, and he had a little bit of footage of the shelves in his Wargames room, and I noticed on one of the shelves that he had a Redoubt, and he said it was 20mm, and my ears picked up then because I'm looking for a 18/20mm Redoubt to use for the Crimean War scenario in black powder. This one here. It's the Battle of the Crimea River, which is basically designed to be like the Battle of the Alma, and you need two redoubts for it on hills on what that the Russians defend. And this struck me as it would be perfect, one of those redoubts, maybe even a little bit too large, but never mind. So I asked him if he knew which company produced it, and he said Imex, and that pleased me as well, because I know I can get hold of Imex in the UK, and I managed to get this off of eBay. And it reminds me, I've been thinking a lot about it recently. When I was a schoolboy, there was a company called Bologna Battlefields, and I had a redoubt that they made called the Redan, which was actually, the Redan was one of the redoubts that defended the outskirts of Sevastopol during the Crimean War. And this is a very old book, 1969, Introduction to Battle Gaming by Terry Wise. And there's actually a picture of the Redan, the model I used to have in it. You can see it's an absolutely fabulous thing. It's got a sort of little bunker there, which the roof came off, which was like an ammunition depot or an HQ, some kind of dugout. And then there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 7 embrasures that you could put cannon up against. And as this sort of description here says, it's really only just a gabionned redoubt, so you could use it for anything in the 18th or 19th centuries, as I suspect you can do for this. But this is primarily intended, as you can see, as I'm saying, for the Crimean War. So it's just arrived in the post, and I'm going to open it up in front of the camera, just to take a first look at it. Get the cellophane off. In their battlefield accessories range. And there's quite a nice little suggestion of how you can paint it on the back there as well. I'm certainly not going to be using enamels though. Well, it's a nice solid piece of scenery. Must be made from some kind of resin. I was expecting plastic, I must admit. So that's a bonus as well. It's looking good. Out of the wraps in a minute. Yeah, it's very, very solid. Much better quality than I was expecting. And it's lovely. Look at that. So it's probably a bit difficult to make out all the detail on it, as it's kind of been base coated a sort of brown colour. But again, that's saved me priming it as well. So I can get straight onto painting this. It's got a kind of 3 platforms, planked areas that you can place a cannon on, and then gabions and log defence works, and then a kind of road that curves in and out of the scenic base there, with another logwork defence at the back, some barrels, little extra bits of detail like that, boxes. Can't make out all the things on it, but there's a wheel here from a gun carriage. It's obviously come off. So this is absolutely ideal. This will be perfect for the Crimea. I'm going to have to get quite a few of these sort of things if I want to refight any of the Siege of Sevastopol type scenarios and things like that. So I was thinking of getting some gabions and making some of my own little scenic bases as well. But this is a good start. I have got one other small redoubt. I think I got from hovels or something like that. That's boxed away, that I'll be able to use as well. So next thing is to get on and paint this, and then I'll show you how it turns up. Right then, here we are, 2 weeks later. Haven't just been painting this, I've had a lot of other things to paint on my workshop as well, but I'm quite pleased with the way it's turned out, and it even had more detail on it than I described in the earlier video. Turn it around this way, you can probably see a little bit more of it. Things like tree stumps, broken wheels, there's another one at the front, little pile of cannonballs there, various ammunition boxes, a barrel, pile of sacks of some kind there. There's a few tree stumps and a couple of rough trunks of trees, another one there, that have been kind of added to the defences in a way, and then you've got all the worked timber, such as the log palisades and the planked surfaces and so on. So I'm really pleased with that. That's going to be ideal for the Crimean War. In terms of scale, it's ideal as well, I think, although I have noticed on the box that it gives the scale as 1/72 or 25mm. Now I would say, I think I'm fairly accurate with this, that 1/72 is strictly speaking 20mm scale. So are they saying that it's of use for any scale between 20 and 25mm? Probably, yeah, but most of the things on here don't really have any scale. I mean, a log can be an indeterminate length, and as can the length of a plank. The gabions themselves, they would vary in size depending on the sort of circumference of the wicker container. So if you look at, I haven't got any cannon yet painted up for the Crimean War, but I have got these. This is the range that I'm going to use. So these are 18mm, excuse me, 18mm Eureka figures, and I think you can see, to my eye, that looks just about right. The top of that log there comes up to sort of chest height on the figure, so I think that will be perfect. Any larger than that, let me show you some figures from other periods and other ranges. Any larger than that, and I think it's going to look a little bit diminutive. So, for instance, here we've got some 20mm tumbling dice Crimean War figures. These are guards, Coldstream guards, I believe. And if you look at that, even the kneeling figure can quite easily fire over the upright timber there. So the scale seems to vary from one range of figures to another. I would say these tumbling dice figures are on the large side for 20mm. There's certainly nothing like, if I put the 18mm behind them there, there's only meant to be 2mm difference in those, and I know the bearskin hats on the Grenadiers make them look larger still, but I would have said these are closer to 25 in a way. And then on the subject of 25mm, I've got out an old minifigs artillery crew here, and you can see immediately that I've got it on a reasonable size base. I can't remember exactly, I think it's 40 by 40 this base, and the base itself doesn't fit into the space available. These are Russian minifigs, Napoleonic minifigs. The cannon itself is a very large cannon. I can't remember what calibre or poundage that is, but if I put on this is a smaller, I believe that's a 12-pounder French cannon, and that would work. So if I had these figures based individually, that would probably work for 25mm. So yeah, but I would say this is closer to 1/72 20mm, and the AB, or rather Eureka figures, suit it quite well. And you could even take it down and use it for 15mm. So these figures are 15mm, but from a later period. You could just about get away with using a gabionned Redoubt for the Russian Civil War. So these are white Russians from the Russian Civil War, Peter Pig figures, with a Putilov gun. But I don't see why, even in the First World War and the Russian Civil War, they wouldn't have been averse to using timbered redoubts with the odd gabion thrown in as a hasty kind of defence. But that's really just to give you an idea of the scale of the figures. But let me turn it around a little bit and you can see. You can see there, they don't look out of place, even 15mm. The gabions are probably about up to the heads of the figures, so they're not out of scale, I would have said. So yeah, that's it. Really pleased with that. Thanks again to Matt for directing me towards it, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you again on the next video. Bye for now.